So, to go over last time, we talked about having to fix the mock data regarding the names of the objects rather than just having their primary key shown. So, to first go over that, we have actually fixed it, and now the constituent data, for example, is showing their actual name at the start of the data when looking at it in the list view rather than just their constituent ID. So, we have fixed that. And going more into the current sprint and what we had to work with this week was our first user story being manage a household account. So we can go ahead and look at the household account over here, and we've added just 10 rows of data because we actually did run into a problem where Salesforce said that we exceeded the amount of storage usage allowed. So we had to delete some constituent data, and we kept it to a minimum now just to go over exactly what our household accounts do, how we form them, and obviously later on when it comes to the final Salesforce project, I'm sure that the data will be there will be no data limit and we'll be allowed to exceed that storage. So to open up the household account name, we started off as household account name Baskins. Obviously has a primary key. We did formal household name, the informal household name. We have a formal greeting and informal greeting, the phone number, the primary contact, and the household size. To dive deeper into the fields and relationships, as we explained last week, we do have it set up. You can see right here with the relationships, right? The household accounts eventually is, related to the constituent and the organization through affiliation and address. But what we notice is that we need to dive deeper into the fact that we need to get this household account related to the constituent data, whether it be by address or the primary keys or how it so may be. That's one thing that we fell a little behind this week. We'll definitely get that fixed and ready for the next coming sprint. To move on or to dive deeper in depth on the manage household account, I just showed how you could create a new household account. Literally just go right here onto the household account tab in our Habitat app, create new, and it creates a household account. We can update the household account simply by clicking on one of the names. There you go, and you can go ahead and edit it right over here, edit. We also made a criteria where we must be able to delete a household account. The table should be populated with attributes as shown before. All of that can be happened. The only major thing we need to work on is right here. It says must be able to add or assign constituents to the household account. So that's the main thing we need to work on for the next time. But other than that, the acceptance criteria was met. We have the household account tab. Moving on, our final user story for this week's sprint was to manage organizations, and essentially it was the same acceptance criteria as household account. Must be able to create the new organization, update existing organization, delete an organization if you need to. We populated the organization table with the attributes. So like I said earlier, the main thing we need to work on is our field and relationships. We have it set up in the actual schema builder. It's definitely in there. We just need to figure out, how to put it to actual use in the Habitat app and link them together. But to go more into the organizations, we can click on an organization here. We'll have the organization name, the organization ID, the type, whether it be bank, restaurant, whatever it may be. And that has the street name, the city, the state, the zip code. So obviously that relates to the address where we can see, in our addresses tab where that would link up with the constituent and the organization. So to summarize everything that going on here, we've met our acceptance criteria for managing the household account, and we've also met the acceptance criteria for managing organization. The main thing we need to work on that we've talked about in our sprint review over our Zoom call was to really figure out how we can add the fields and relationships to link the specific constituent with the organization and the household account, because I know when Habitat for Humanity came into class, we talked about having an ease of access and being able to update one constituent data, and it needs to, update with a household account. That way, two people in the same household aren't getting the same mail. So we will figure that out. We will figure that out by the next sprint and get working on it. But other than that, we've met all the acceptance criteria, and We just want to thank you for your time.